Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast. It is Friday, August 2nd,
It,
2024. Is it the second or third?
it is the second. I can't.
It is the
It like
second.
I feel like that. I feel like the end of July kind of drug out a little
A little bit.
bit, but now that it's August, I feel like it's gonna like fly by like it always does. The end of summer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm actually on the opposite side of the spectrum. I think it's going to go really slow this month because I'm actually looking forward to football this time around. Like last season, you're getting off of the Super Bowl, you're trying to like take a little break, and then you're trying to enjoy your summer. But this time around, I think I'm just trying to get back in the rhythm of things because we have revenge from last year and we want to get back there. And I cannot wait for it to start. Last night's game, I didn't even catch a series. I was at the movie seeing this movie called Trap. It was an absolute bullshit movie, so it was a waste of time. But with that said, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. So I love summer and I love football. So it's like I'm always excited for the season. But like you said, there is a lot of intrigue right now, and I think that's just gonna build the hype up even more.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm like, it's weird. Like, I don't want the summer to end because it's my favorite season. Where would you, I like, this is like kind of a cool little question. Like, where would you rank this summer compared to like the past couple? I don't know if you've like thought about it. My favorite summer recently was 21 after COVID because it was like we could all go back to the world and do things again.
Hmm.
And I feel like everyone was in a good mood. We all had money from unemployment. Like most of us, I feel
Mm.
like things were kind of like a little bit cheaper. I don't know, like not for every industry. And then I feel like maybe I'm just getting older, but it's like I go out less and less. And it's just not as fun as it was. Do you think that's just because I'm getting older? It's always more fun when you're younger.
Yeah. I mean, I ranked this in one of my top summers of all time. Basically, the reason is,
Wow.
yeah, because I've been going down to LBI and the shore a lot. I've been chilling by the pool, getting sun. And when you go down the Jersey Shore during the summer, there's nothing better than that. So to be completely honest with you, between that, Vegas, and everything I've done up until this point, it's been a top five summer, I've got to say, and it's been going really quick. I do
I
want to
will
enjoy this.
say we
Yeah.
I will say we've had like great weather. I feel like the
Hmm.
past couple summers it's like rained on Saturdays, but it's been like perfect. It's been hot, like you said, it's been sunny. So like
Yep.
that's like night and day, like literally and figuratively, like that makes everything just like, so much better. So I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just been amazing week in and week out, especially going to Vegas and all the extracurriculars I've done. It's been one to remember for sure, but it's
Yeah,
gonna go away.
I love traveling. I love traveling. I call summer like fantasy land. Like literally I went to Disney. We went to New Hope. I've been down the shore a little bit, probably like the least I've been in years, but I plan to go down at least a couple more times in August.
Yeah.
What else have I done? I just feel like I've been in random places that I haven't been to or haven't been to in a while. And I feel like I needed to switch it up a little bit. Like I don't want like I don't know. Like I went to Disney for 4th of July. I'm just like over the Jersey Shore 4th of July. It's like a madhouse. Like I'm not a big fireworks fan, even though the fireworks at Disney were fucking amazing.
Mhm.
So like yeah, I just wanted to do like different things. And just have like a different mindset and mentality too, because it's like I love the beach. I love the bars. It's just, it's just a different vibe for sure.
I feel that. But lucky for me, going from one of the top five summers of all time, you go into football season where it's just nonstop action. You go into the
Exactly.
shows, you go to the games. We're still talking about New Orleans, where we're gonna go for the games. It's gonna be a really fun
Uh-huh.
fall. It really is. And this year's been one
Yeah,
of the
and
better years, honestly.
if you're a football fan, like I mean, I used to hate fall because it was like school starting again. Obviously, I'm 27 now. But if you're a football fan, like it's just like such like a it's like Christmas morning.
Mhm.
And also, people love the fall because of like whatever, like Halloween. They fucking want to make Halloween like a 2-month holiday. Seriously. And just like all the fall activities, whatever. But like football is just like it's bigger than ever. You know, we're playing in Brazil week 1. They're trying to like just bring it to the entire world.
Hmm.
And it's never been more popular, and it's the most popular sport entertainment TV show in the US. Like it's not even close. These ratings, what they do, how much the quarterbacks get paid, like these people, even like the analysts on TV, they are living their best life and they couldn't have these jobs in like a better time period in the history of like football in the NFL. Like it's wild when you wrap your mind around it. Like who's the highest paid now? Jordan Love.
Yep.
I think he's getting 60 million a year, right? Or is it, yeah, 60 million,
No,
right?
it's about 55. He's tied with Joe Burrow and somebody
No,
else.
I thought he just broke it. Let me check
Well,
that
the
real
signing
quick.
bonus was the most of all time. So he gets that pretty much up front.
Wait, hold up. I thought it was per year. Let me see. Where the hell is his deal? I feel like the Madden ratings are coming out. Obviously,
It
we're
was
going to talk about the
it was
top one.
4 years to something.
4 years, 220. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's definitely not 60 million a
That's
year.
55.
But
Yeah.
the fuck, sorry. Fucking high. All right, so whatever. Oh yeah, he had a $75 million signing bonus, which is crazy. So do you even know how signing bonuses work?
Yeah,
Like,
you get it
obviously all this money is taxed.
when you sign on the dotted line, you get 75 million up front. Obviously, it's going to get taxed depending on where you live. So Green Bay, it's not as much as California or New York, so he's going to get a like big bulk of that.
And then I feel like we forget that these players do get paychecks like after every game. You know, I feel like the media makes it like, well, they get this money guaranteed, or like, no, they have to have a signing bonus.
Mm,
Like, that's the money they get when they actually sign. They still get a paycheck like everyone else. Of course, it's for fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe
yep.
even a million in the quarterback's cases, which is fucking insane. But like, we can't even imagine that type of money. And do you think it's kind of becoming a problem that there's like that monopoly and these people are just so wealthy, so powerful? And like, is it going to stop? Like, should it stop somewhere? Especially the billionaires as well. It's like, should someone be that wealthy? Like, why do they need to be that wealthy when you have so many people struggling, homeless people, hungry people, and someone has $3 billion and they are on the street? What's your thoughts about
All right,
that?
so not to really make this political because this is a football show and a sports show, but here's the thing about America.
We're
It's a
having fun
capital
though.
Yeah, it's a capitalistic society. Okay, a lot you could have your differences with it. You could hate it. You could love it. Whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we're in capitalism, which means you're gonna make the best of your horizons. You're gonna expand your horizons the way you want to. If people are homeless, it's either sure bad luck or they just didn't try hard enough, and they're down Shit's Creek without a paddle or up Shit's Creek
I
without a
don't know. I
paddle.
mean, like if you're born in a like, a tough situation, or it's all about your upbringing. I feel like a lot of these billionaires, it's old money. They were their parents, they were born into a business, so they just
That's
got a good hand. Did they make some right decisions, some right business moves? Yes, but they have teams around them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just it's very, again, I just think it's a power thing and it's can lead to destructive vices or whatever.
Mhm,
And again, they can do whatever they want. Like they think they're untouchable because they are. Money has that much power, and
mhm.
it honestly shouldn't. So that's just my opinion. I mean, like, are we going to see a quarterback one day make 200 million a year? Like we are, and I don't know. It's just it's hard
Not
to
a long
fathom.
it's not a long time from now, but it is going that way for sure because number one, I feel like these quarterbacks should have been making this much money a long time ago. If I'm being completely honest with you,
Really,
I
really.
think the
What
quarterback position
year?
is yes, I think the quarterback
What
position is the
what
most
year?
valuable
What
position
year?
in sports. What
What year
year?
do you think? Yeah, they should have started making this money.
Going all the way back to 2000, maybe. Like I
So,
think
the owners were greedy.
yes,
Like they kept most of it for themselves. I would agree with that.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the quarterback position is the most valuable, at least in America sports. American sports is the most valuable position out there. Everyone watches it. They make the most money off of it. The owners do. The people broadcasting it do. You know, I feel like they've been really stingy with their money since 2000, and they're finally seeing that quarterbacks are getting paid what they're worth. And I feel like, you know, it should have been like this for years, but unfortunately, like I just said, if you're cheap with your money and you don't have to spend it, you're not going to.
My opinion is that was very calculated, that we're going to make this amount of money, and then we'll see what we can do to satisfy our players, because I'm
Mhm.
sure they're still making the same amount that they would have made in 2000. It's just that time period they made what they want to made, and it
Right.
was smart because they had the extra money for like marketing, promote the NFL, all these different types of deals, because the players weren't making as much. So again, everything's calculated. That's why it's like these billionaires are kind of like a little conniving. Again, that's why I
Mhm.
think all billionaires are like that. And it's like, should they have this much power?
Like, like, uh,
But yeah, these
I'll,
athletes deserve to get paid.
I'll give you one example. It's not football, but I'll give you an example. Baseball, the Miami Marlins have a $14 million payroll. The New York Yankees have a $255 million payroll. People want to say it should have a salary cap in the sport. I say billionaires should spend their money if they want to put a team on the field. I mean, $14 million and you're a billionaire, you're being really cheap. You know, so it's like these billionaires don't necessarily care about putting a product on the field if it's not the first thing that people go to when it comes to Miami. Because Miami's a really fun city. I get it. But when people talk about salary caps and them not having it, it has nothing to do with the product on the field. It has everything to do with the billionaire owner that doesn't want to spend. So that's
I
just
would
how I see it.
agree. I would agree, but then the teams, if you have 32 teams, a lot of them would be so much less competitive, and you'd have like 5 to 8 good teams every single year. Now,
Yeah.
I like longevity, like the Chiefs, Patriots. Unfortunately, the Cowboys, we had our stretch in the 2000s. Of course, we didn't win anything. And then even right now, we made the playoffs. I think it's like what, 7 out of 8 seasons? What,
A
two
little bit
Super
less
Bowls,
than that,
one
I think.
one,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe six. No, I think we made like, because we made it in 17, 18, 19,
Well, we didn't
21,
make it. We
22,
didn't make it two
23.
years. We didn't make it 2 years in a row. We didn't make it 15 and we didn't make it 16. So that would
Oh, well,
be
I'm starting in 2017.
okay. That's fair enough.
Yes, 7 out of 8 seasons. We only missed it in 2020.
Yeah.
That was it. Anyways, my point is that's great, but why would you be a fan of one of those sucky ass teams? I mean, people are
Well,
now, but like it's so much easier to be better. Like the
yeah.
Panthers are the worst team, you could say, but they made the Super Bowl in 2015. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
always like easy to turn things around with the salary cap.
Exactly. And it's like the Giants. They suck and they always suck, but they made the Super Bowl in 2011 when I was in high school. So, you know, you could always dream about that.
I like that I was still younger, so I don't really remember them. Like I feel like after the Eagles were eliminated, I didn't watch the playoffs as much back then.
No.
Did you ever
Yeah.
have that time too when you were like 8 to 10,
No.
or
I
did you
mean, the
always
Eagles
watch
were
the playoff?
the Eagles were always in it. The only way they didn't make is if Donovan got hurt or the team just gave up, which was rare under an Andy Reid regime. So I never really had that. No, I had to witness two giant Super Bowls, unfortunately. Now the first one, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't mad that they won because they beat one of the best teams of all time, and nobody wanted to see the Patriots win that Super Bowl. I don't care who you are. The second one, you know, they went on a run. They did their little stupid shit where they get into the playoffs as a mediocre team and catch fire. But unfortunately, that happens, and you know the price that they're paying is that they haven't been to a Super Bowl since, and I'm happy with that. So, as far as it goes, I'm gonna let it go as
I agree.
whatever.
I agree, but I would have loved, like, I don't want the Giants to win because we didn't win one. And again, we were like the class of the division, and they came here out of nowhere. And like, who were their best players? Michael Strahan,
Mhm.
Tiki Barber.
Justin Tuck.
Obviously, you have to give it. Eli Manning was up there in the top 5. He did have good playoff
No,
runs.
he wasn't. He wasn't. He
Justin
was his.
Tucker, I wouldn't even consider him up there.
No, Eli Manning wasn't a top player. He was just clutch and he was durable. I wouldn't say he was
He
a
wasn't
top
a top
asset.
player on their. He wasn't a top player on their team.
No, like if you're gonna go top
Oh my
five, I would
God,
go.
Kyle, come on.
No. I'm serious. I would go Justin Tuck, OCU Manura. I would go like way
Michael
before
Strahan.
him, Michael
Michael Strahan.
Strahan. I would go the running back Brandon Jacobs, and I would
They
go
always had good running backs.
yeah,
Jeremiah
Brandon Jacobs is a
Shockey.
monster. Yeah, and the
Jeremiah
other one,
Shockey.
oh, and you're forgetting the bigger one. You're forgetting Plaxico Burress.
I know. I feel like his reputation's definitely tainted for sure, right?
Yeah, but he was a big reason why they won that first Super Bowl in 2007.
I don't even know, but I feel like, yeah, like obviously Michael Strahan's a Hall of Famer. OCU Manura and Justin Tucker had a good stretch,
Tuck.
but they're not, I don't, they're not all-time players. Again, for me,
Mm.
it's Michael Strahan, Eli Manning. I think those will be the only Hall of Famers. Wait, is Tiki Barber in the Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
No, not yet, at least.
I don't think he should go in either. Do you?
I think he will get in eventually, just because he did so much for that franchise other than win a Super Bowl. I think he'll get in.
I kind of want to look up their roster. I know we have a lot to talk about today, but I'm having fun with this spur of the moment combo. Giants roster 2007.
Yeah,
Let's
they had
see.
a decent roster to win that Super Bowl.
But I feel like ours is better.
Oh, in
And like I feel
2017, it's close.
right now or last year
Right
too.
now.
No?
Well, it could be. Like I said before, it could be. It's all about how it meshes together because we have a ton of egos on our team. So I
All
mean,
right,
it depends.
Plaxico Burris or AJ Brown? Who are you taking?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
Seriously?
I don't know because
Oh my God.
Plaxico Burris, you can make an argument that in 2008, Plaxico Burris, if he didn't shoot himself, they were going back to the Super Bowl. So back-to-back Super Bowls over going to one Super Bowl and not winning it is a little different. So I'm not going to answer that one. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I will take AJ Brown.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox, I think both of them will be Hall of Famers.
Mhm.
Again, I could only name 2 Hall of Famers for that Giants team. AJ Brown has that potential for sure. So does Lane Johnson. If he's not close, he will get there.
Mhm.
Saquon or Tiki Barber, at this point you would have to take Tiki, but like that's very up in the air, hopefully.
Yep.
Saquon has the talent. I'm going to obviously give it to the Giants defense besides Fletcher Cox. I'm talking about this year and last year. Can you think of anyone else like that just stands out to you that's like, I don't know, again, I think our roster, let me look at it again. Let me look at the actual
I mean,
Giants.
their corners are pretty good too.
Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but take a look. Ahmad Bradshaw, he had some good games, but again, he's kind of like a forgotten player to
Well,
me.
they
Steve
had
Smith,
They had
David
Earth, Wind, and
Tyree.
Fire. They had Ware, they had Bradshaw, and they had Jacobs. So they had probably the best trio tandem of all time at the running back position.
Of all time.
Maybe a trio, yeah.
So in 2007, they only had Ahmad Bradshaw. Okay, then they had Brandon Jacobs. Yeah. And then on the defense, or they had Kevin Boss as their tight end. Jeremiah Shockey wasn't there yet.
Shockey was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even really recognize any of these corners, to be
Is
honest.
Corey Webster there?
Yeah. Okay. Corey Webster. Let me look at his stats real quick. I mean, I probably would take him over Slay. Obviously, Slay's our best corner.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He won 2 Super Bowls. All right, never made a Pro Bowl.
No, but he was key to
He
that team. I
had 20
remember.
interceptions. He played from 05 to 2013.
2 Super Bowls.
And yeah, never, he had 2 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 20 interceptions. And
Hmm.
now let's look up Darius
He was a
Slay.
blanket. He was a blanket receiver. I
It's a
mean, a
shame
cornerback.
that we it's a shame that we didn't draft Darius Slay because I know Howie wanted him. Like literally, what was he? 2015 draft.
Yeah,
Where's
something like that.
Darius?
Because he's 32, I believe.
And we, as Eagles fans, we remember Darius Slay. Like we knew Slay. He played so well against us. When the Lions would beat us, he would have
Hmm.
that game-ending interception off whoever our quarterback was. He
Yep,
was so good. He was drafted in 2013.
a while ago.
He's 33 now. Which is still kind of like it's not young, but it's not like he's
It's
like
not young.
36.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
it's
young.
not. I mean, I think he'll play like 3 more years. I don't see him retiring. I think he
Yeah.
loves the game. He has 28 interceptions already, so that's better than Corey Webster.
So yeah,
So
but
would you?
no, I mean, but you're when you say better, you got to think of this: is he better fitted with the team, or is he better flashy spotlight player by himself type of
Okay, what
person?
about Deion Sanders? What was he?
I wasn't old enough to see Deion Sanders, but everyone I ask who's a lot older than me, they say that he's one of the best athletes of all time.
I mean,
So
you've
I
seen
mean,
highlights, and he wasn't a tackler. His thing was pick sixes, and he changed the game.
yeah,
He's him and Reggie White, maybe a few others. I would say are the best defensive players of all time.
hmm,
So interceptions matter. It's changing. Possession. It's huge. Like that, turnovers are the best thing a defense can do. Yeah, you want to try and do a 3 and out, even like a fourth and down turnover on downs. But and especially with Dion, squirrel is touchdown. It's
yeah,
crazy. So every corner gives up yards, tackles. I would say the best one in recent memories for me is when Darrell Revis was like so good. I mean, it was on
yeah.
the Jets, unfortunately, and then didn't do much on the Bucks.
No, he won it.
But
He
he
won a
was
championship though.
with the Bucks later on,
No,
right?
no, he won with the Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he won with the
And I think
Patriots
you could say
versus Atlanta.
the same thing about Ndamukong Suh. Like he was so good his early years. Like he was wouldn't call him Aaron Donald, but just an outstanding player. And the Lions had him and Darius Slay at the same time in their
Hmm.
prime, and they still couldn't win. So that says a lot about the Lions. A team that had Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson too, and still could not win. And those
And
four,
and
go ahead.
they both retired early. That should tell you everything you didn't need to know.
And they had Matthew Stafford, who won the Super Bowl with the Rams a few years ago.
Yep.
That's terrible. Like they were good at drafting. And again, that stigma, that culture, they probably didn't hire the right head coach.
And
That's
that's
probably what it was.
and that's really sad because skill wise, there's only two wide receivers that I've seen in my lifetime that could be ranked as the number one receiver of all time. That's not Jerry Rice, and that's Calvin Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald.
Terrell Owens and
Nope.
Megatron.
It's Calvin Johnson and Larry
Terrell
Fitzgerald.
Owens
Larry Fitzgerald.
because he killed us, right?
No, I think he ended with like 15,000 receiving yards. And look at the list of QBs he played with throughout his career. He played with like John Skelton and like these really ass quarterbacks, and he still made it happen. Imagine if he played with a great quarterback his entire career. He might have passed Jerry Rice.
He played with Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer, who are
Thrived.
good, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm talking about them as quarterbacks. They're good, right?
Hmm.
I mean, Kurt Warner won 2 Super Bowls, but like, he's such a weird case. He's kind of like Brad Johnson, but better. It's like if you like, it's like an Eli Manning and Nick Foles. Like, you have a great like couple seasons, but then you like disappear, and then he was like the Giants' backup. It's just like it's hard to rank them in history because we go off of consistency. Like the Tom Brady's, Peyton Manning's, Joe Montana, um, Bart Starr, like whoever you want to name there, Ben Roethlisberger. So Roger Starbuck, Brett Favre.
Yep.
So it's kind of weird. But let me take one more look at Larry Fitzgerald, then we can get into a little bit more Eagles talks. He's in the College Pro Football Hall of Fame. Not, I don't think 4 years out of the NFL. Played for a long ass time. He'll definitely get in.
Oh, first
Now I
ballot.
don't know where he ranks all time. Where does he rank all time in receiving yards?
He's like, I
It's got to be
believe
up.
he
He's
has.
got to be up there.
Pull up Wikipedia real quick.
All right, all time NFL receiving yards.
Just search up Larry Fitzgerald. It should be right there under his name.
I just had his up, but I actually want to see the full list. I'm curious. Number 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy.
And look at all the
Do you,
quarterbacks he played with.
can you guess the top 5? Or
Jer-
like try in order, but if not, don't like just try and name them. But
Receiving list.
the top 5 most receiving yards for a player.
All right. All right. I'll go right
Yeah.
now. Number 1, Jerry Rice. Number 2, Larry Fitzgerald. Number 3, I'm gonna go Randy Moss. Number 4, Marvin Harrison. Number 5. Number 5. That's a tough one for me. I'm gonna say. No, I'm gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna say.
I can't believe Larry Fitzgerald.
I don't know. I'm stumped. What would number 5
Yeah,
be?
this is a hard one. So 5 was Isaac Bruce.
Okay.
Played a long
Okay. The
ass time.
Rams. Yeah.
4 Randy Moss. 3 Terrell Owens.
Okay.
Larry Fitzgerald, and then Jerry Rice. So you did very well. And just looking at that list, it really was a travesty that T.O. was not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Mhm.
Like, I can definitely understand why he did not go to the ceremony. Like I get it's not about your personality. It's not like he ever was in trouble with the law or whatever. And at that time, he was probably number 2. And Larry
Yeah.
Fitzgerald, yeah, passed him because Larry Fitzgerald ended with 17, 492 yards,
That's
and T.O.
insane.
has 15, 934. So, what do you think about that? About T.O. and
I
the way he was, in my opinion, he was disrespected.
They didn't let him in because he was a cancer in the locker room. That's exactly why they didn't let him in. It was like if you've ever seen the movie called Mr. 3000, they didn't let him in either because he was an asshole. It was basically the same thing.
Okay. But they have criminals in that have records, hurt women, domestic violence, Warren Sapp, Brett Favre. So it's
Yep.
like, it's kind of a contradiction. Would you agree with that or no?
Depends where they were put in. I mean, if they were put in the first ballot, I would agree with your case, but they were put in probably way after that.
I don't know. Brett Favre and Warren Sapp. I think they probably were first ballot.
Well, Brett Favre, I mean, he showed his dick on a phone. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
I
he's
wouldn't
done,
say that's like
and
criminal, but like Warren
and
Sapp,
well, he recently stole money from the poorest state and the poorest people to
yeah,
build
but
a
was he
volleyball
convicted?
stadium.
Was he convicted on it?
There's text messages. I don't know the official details, but that is pretty fucking shitty. And I don't know who would make that up. And it's
And
so random.
well, you also have to put this into fact too. He was put in before that happened.
Okay, but like people still knew his character. I know we didn't care
Yeah.
as much about character, but they cared about T.O.'s character. So I don't know what that's about. But they
I
didn't care about
think
Brett Favre.
I think they cared about Tio's character so much because him being a cancer in the locker room was so detrimental to where he never won a title. Well, at least Brett Favre won a title. So it's like the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He has that one title, but everyone knows he's kind of like an a-hole, like outside of the locker room.
But like we know that if you're really good in any industry, you get special treatment
Right.
because you're not as replaceable. And obviously, where there's smoke, there's fire. If you have the same issue 4 different places, you do have to look at yourself. But again, number 2 all time
Mm,
in receiving yards,
mm.
like all time. Like That's he. Do you, so you don't think he should have been a first ballot, or you do?
No, oh no, I absolutely do, but I can see why they didn't let him in.
Again, I think if you have a criminal record, of course, number one should be playing on the field, especially if you have those stats.
Mhm.
He never had a criminal record, as far as I know, and like it's just so petty. It really, really is. Like you cannot deny someone's ability just because you don't like them. Now, I'm sure the owners maybe had some influence on that, but again, do not deny this man's stats. He is one of the greatest of all time, especially with the Eagles in that Super Bowl. With the 49ers, like he was great. Did
Mm.
he have his shortcomings with the personality and the mouth and the me? I feel like he created that type of like wide receiver diva a little bit.
Mhm.
I would definitely say he's one of the first people that did that, but he was also so entertaining with
Yeah.
get your popcorn ready, signing the ball, going on the Dallas Star. Like he created these moments that made the NFL more popular. So it's like in a way, they should be grateful that he did have that attitude and that persona because, we'll never forget that. Like him pouring the popcorn in Dallas in his helmet. Like we
Mhm.
don't see that anymore. And probably it's a good reason that we don't. It's a little bit like outlandish, not professional, whatever you want to say. But, I think it's how we became really diehard fans. Like, holy shit, this is more than just a game. There's so much going on here. Personalities, like these are becoming people that we want to follow and talk about because they're so interesting. Like, if it was just a helmet and they never took the helmet off and you had no idea who these people are, you wouldn't be as emotionally invested. And Tio made you emotionally invested for
Well, I mean,
sure.
we saw
So,
that
just my
celebration with
thoughts.
Devonta Smith during Christmas, the Salvation Army. He goes into the basket, puts on the mask, and kicks the door down and robs from the Salvation Army. So that was a creative little celebration.
And no one cared, right?
He actually got flagged for it.
I mean, I don't remember it being a big controversy, probably because I didn't even want to like watch anything, like because the Eagles were so bad during that time. Like when the Eagles are really bad, I'm like not as invested with every single show, news article. I'm like, oh, we know how that feels like after a loss. We just
Yeah,
want to listen to WIP for a little bit and then not talk about them until the next game. But let's get started today. I love that we had that all over the place combo.
little half hour talk.
Training camp is no, I loved it. Training camp is here. I've seen a lot of interviews, not too much of practice. I'm a big fan of Eagle Eye, hosted by Ruben Frank and Dave Spadero. I'm sure a lot of Eagles fans are familiar with that podcast. It's also funny. I feel like we are like the fan base that knows like every member of the media. like
Yeah.
like we know their name, like we care about them. Like, you know, um Elliot Shore Parks, like everyone has an opinion about him,
Mm,
Howard Eskin. So it's kind of funny. And again, that makes us more emotionally invested, which is cool. It's probably a little bit like too much, but people have fun on Twitter with it for whatever that's worth. Back to
absolutely.
the vibe, I definitely think it's very positive. Number one story is Jalen Hurts, as he should be. He's the quarterback, highest paid player. Sounds very well. The last I heard a few days ago, the defense played really, really, really well. And who was it? Someone beat Jordan Mailata on the D line. Oh,
No,
I think it was
it wasn't Jordan
the third
Mailata. It was
round pick.
Lane Johnson. And what happened was is I believe it was Josh Sweat that came off the line and beat him and almost sacked Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts read the blitz or he read him coming off the line and he stepped up and ran out of the pocket, which you haven't seen much of last year. So that was pretty good.
So I'm actually talking about I think it was Hunt. What's his first name? Our third round pick?
Jackson.
Is it Jackson's bad? I forget. He actually beat Jordan Mailata. So
Yeah,
that both happened.
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, they both happen.
Now what do you think of that? Like, is
Love
it
it.
just like a mix of the O-line, like, or just are these defensive ends really going to bring it this year? And we're going to
No,
be,
I
pleasantly
think these
surprised, especially with
I
Josh
think
Sweat, because
these defensive lines are going to bring it. I mean, Jordan Mailata, he's not going to fall off after just getting paid. Like that's just not going to happen. So I think they really did their diligence with this Jackson Hunt kid. He didn't go to a major school. He was like in a sub D1A school, and he really balled out there. So they took a chance with him. They took a calculated risk. And if he is who he looks like he is, it looks like that they got a steal. So, I mean, I actually think it's good
no, for
news.
real. And we are due for like a mid-round pick to like be a star because our first round picks for the most part have been decent. But like we got Zach Ertz in the second round. LaShawn McCoy was a second round pick. I know he
Yep,
wasn't officially under Howie. Lane Johnson, obviously he was a first round pick. Who else did we get that was really good in like the second, third rounds? I can't
Zach
even think
Ertz.
right now. Anyways, I did. Yeah, I just said him. I'm trying to think of like anyone else. Anyways, we are due for that. So, wishing the best. It's all good news there. Again, back to Jalen Hurts. Have you listened to him speak at all at any press conference or just his mannerisms or anything like that?
No, I like how he stepped up as a leader. That one time where they asked him about the whole Nick Sirianni situation, he said, "Listen, me and Nick are cool. We're gonna take the season. We're gonna grab it by the balls." And I really liked him saying that. He sounded confident for once. He didn't sound like sluggish, like he didn't want to be there. He actually seemed like he was ready to go, and that's what you want in your leader. And from what I've seen in practice and Elliott Shore Park's his stats in training camp. I actually think he's going to have a good year this year. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for sure.
Now, for me, he has the talent. We're going to talk about where he was ranked on the top 100 players in a bit.
Mm,
I think last year was all mental plus injury because like his psyche, like did he talk to someone? Did the front office give him advice on how to answer questions? Did he go to therapy? Like what do you like was he just pissed off from the losing and the situation and he hates losing. He needs to win. Like but we obviously see a huge difference in his personality and demeanor. Like how do you think that changed, and like what are your thoughts on how he sounds a lot better and more confident now?
Well, he definitely his demeanor changed because I think you nailed it on the head. Maybe he was hurt last year, and maybe him not being able to run really affected his game. So I think if you're getting the Jalen Hurts back with the running ability and fresh as a daisy, you're gonna see more of the same of 2022, not the same of 2023. And that's big because we added talent this year. We didn't subtract, we didn't stay neutral, we added talent this year. So him with Saquon, the 2022 version of Jalen Hurts with Saquon Barkley, with AJ Brown, with Devonta Smith, with Dallas Goddard, maybe we won't lose many games this year. And this one person in the comment, E Money Bentley said, Eagles 15-2. And listen, it might be a little bit outlandish that record, but all I gotta say is with that amount of talent, if it sticks together well, it could be a possibility. It really could be.
Now, I believe we did our little back in what was it, April when the schedule came out. I think we
Mhm.
I think we both said we both said 13-3. 15-2 is kind of crazy, but I love
Yeah.
the optimism, high expectations. The only thing is we can't deny it. Jalen Hurts will get hurt again. He
Oh,
is a
come on.
running quarterback. They need to utilize Saquon. They need to like you have to run your running backs into the ground. Quarterbacks are so much more valuable. Hurts, he never got hurt on the tush push, but he should not be doing that. He did that like way too much last year, like an insane amount of times. It was so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They didn't know what else to do. I mean, you can blame that. Hopefully, that was the coordinator just literally being completely hopeless and just relying on that play. You got to give the ball to Saquon.
Mhm.
Jalen should only be okay. Designed runs, a couple of drive, if that. If he scrambles, like he needs to be Lamar Jackson. Yes, Lamar Jackson gets hurt. I don't know. It's like they're not injury prone, but again, you're playing against huge men, defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebackers. You're going to get hurt. Yes, Jalen Hurts is made of steel, fucking squats 500 pounds, but so these other men are not far behind him.
Yeah.
So there needs to be, and again, we haven't, no team's been able to figure it out. Like slide with Michael Vick, he couldn't slide, running out of bounds, being pushed out of bounds, falling and fucking whatever, straining your hammy, tearing whatever. So that's the challenge for him. Now he has the talent. Like I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts. 2021, I was not, but ever since the start of 2022, I've seen him make every throw that everyone said that he didn't have a good arm and he couldn't throw down the field. And he did. He was an MVP runner up candidate, would have won if he didn't get injured. He probably still should have won it, honestly. But
Probably.
this
Yeah.
it's such like a week to week league and society in general. Also, he has so many rushing touchdowns, which is so cool. But again, the tush push, like he should not be putting his body in harm. You can throw the fucking fade route to AJ for 2 yards. You got Dallas Goddard. Like, throw it to fucking Saquon, a fucking shuffle pass. Like, this tush push is way too much. Use it for short yardage, but they were using it like on fucking second down
Yep.
sometimes. It's like, what the hell? So protect Jalen Hurts. He is going to get injured again. You agree, right? Like it's tough,
No.
but
I mean, listen, is it inevitable? Who knows? I mean, players do get hurt
come
in
on,
this league.
like what?
That's why they get paid the big bucks. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go out and say he is going to get hurt. I mean, it is a possibility for sure, but I feel like we have the weapons on this roster to keep him safe.
He's
So
been hurt every single year that
I
he's
know,
been here. He's missed
I
at
know,
least a game or two.
I
So,
know, and a majority of the QBs around the league have injuries that they don't talk about. So technically last year he wasn't hurt
but they
because there
don't
wasn't
run.
an
They don't
injury.
run as much as him.
Yeah,
They don't run as much as him, and that's why we got Kenny Pickett. Like I know you're a fan. You have a little crush on Kenny Pickett.
no,
So
I like Kenny Pickett because I wanted him 2 years ago. I thought he would have been great in this offense, but you know what? Jalen Hurts is obviously the guy, and Kenny Pickett, he's a good backup. He's better than Mariota. I think we could agree on that.
Oh, by
So,
far. Mariota's down. I don't know how the hell he got another job with Washington. It's
yep,
Washington, I guess. But Jesus,
yeah, sloppy second.
it's terrible. Almost felt bad for him, especially in that preseason. They just kept trotting him out there, and it's like this guy cannot play anymore.
Yeah.
Like put someone else in.
Well,
Like
he could never
seriously.
really play. Let's be honest.
Oh, he was decent for the Titans for a couple years, and then for the Falcons, he even like wasn't. He did end up getting benched, but it's not like he just like they still won seven games. Like I don't think he would have won any games if he was our starter last year. Like
Yeah,
he
he
was
would.
that bad.
Yeah, he would have been buns.
No, and of course, remember he went in the San Francisco game. I think because we were just like waving the white flag, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is like crazy, but so yeah, definitely positive vibes for training camp. There is a lot to be excited about. And you were kind of right during free agency. I kind of downplayed it a tad, but Saquon Barkley is a very, very exciting player. Couple of question marks with the injury history, always playing on a bad team. But look at Christian McCaffrey. Now, I don't think he is as good as Christian McCaffrey because Christian McCaffrey won Offensive Player of the Year and could have won MVP last year as well. But he was on the Panthers. He flashed like Saquon. He got hurt a lot. And now he's on the 49ers and he's one of the best players in the league. And like his valuable, like I would take him over some quarterbacks. He was that good. I think he's going to be in the top 100, the top 10. He has to be because he was that fucking good last year. He was like unstoppable.
Mhm.
So can Saquon be somewhere close to that? Again, he's had flashes, but I think it's his 8th season, right?
Yep. He is going to be better than Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to bring a new
Crazy.
dynamic. Yeah, I think he's going to bring a new dynamic to this team. And I think if they use him right, he's going to be unstoppable. You might see 10 yards per carry in this offense. I think he's going to just dominate. I've wanted Saquon Barkley forever on this team. I wanted the Eagles to trade up for him years ago in the draft. I didn't care what it took. This guy, you're talking about Christian McCaffrey having the value of a quarterback. Saquon Barkley could do everything, dude. Like he could hurdle over players, he could catch the ball, he
Oh
could
well, the
throw the
Giants
ball.
didn't win it. The Giants again. I love Saquon, but did he help the Giants win games?
No, because their offensive line sucked and they had no wide receivers.
I mean, I'm sure some great running backs had a bad offensive line and were still productive.
No, I mean they had no wide receivers like at all. They used him as their
No,
predominant wide
they did.
receiver.
Yeah, I agree, they didn't. And also, Daniel Jones is your quarterback. You're right. Their offense was terrible, but all right, Adrian Peterson, he led his team to the playoffs a few times.
Right.
Who did they have? They might have had Greg Jennings.
They had a team.
Who
They
was
had a
their
team.
who was their quarterback? Tavares Jackson.
Yeah, Tavares Jackson wasn't horrible. He was
Oh,
serviceable.
Kyle, stop.
He was
He was not.
serviceable. He was serviceable.
He's the
They
same as
had
Daniel Jones. He's the same as
he
Daniel Jones.
he had Brett Favre. He had who's that one motherfucker? I think he had Sam Bradford for 1 year. 1 year maybe. No, he didn't. Did he? I think he did.
No, he didn't. No.
No.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I mean, Brett Favre, I don't know. Was AP drafted in 07 or 08? And then
I
Brett
think it was
Favre
oh
was
seven.
there
He
in
was in the league. He was in the league for at least 10 years.
yeah, for sure.
He had
So
Brett Favre. So he had
I'm comparing Christian McCaffrey's and Saquon's stats now. The only thing I could see is why Christian McCaffrey goes down. I'm sure you just saw he got married to Olivia Kupla, which they're
Mm,
like a fucking gorgeous ass couple. And
mm,
we've also heard that for whatever reason, when NFL players do get married, you think it would make them like, I don't know, more stable. But marriage, there's issues. Like there's a lot of things that happen with marriages. Like it's a whole lifestyle change, merging your lives together. And that takes up a large part of your time away from your job. Would you
mm.
agree with that a little bit? So that's the only way I could see him going down.
No, not necessarily, because you have to factor in that these players, you have to compare them to superstars, not the normal everyday citizen. Yes, the normal everyday citizen, they have to make sure their marriage works, make sure they
Yeah,
pay the
but they have
bills,
they have
make
more
sure they're there for the
drama. They have more
kids.
drama with their relationship than the
Not
average
really.
baseball fan.
Not really. If they
They,
have drama, they'll just give the wife a check and say sayonara. I mean, it's not the same thing. I mean, normal everyday
come on,
citizens put up with a lot more.
how much was Tom Brady and Giselle talked about? Like,
But they were
it was
married
talk.
for 20 years. Like it was a long time.
But
So
we're in the age of social media, and these two were like born in social media. They were known before.
yeah,
I mean, I think they're low profile, and I think they both seem like chill, normal people. Except for like, the thirst traps, but that's fucking everyone on
except
Instagram.
except for the $100 million they both make per year or whatever the fuck it is.
I
So
would say I'd say they're humble people. At least Christian McCaffrey comes off that way for sure.
yeah,
All right, let's look
yeah.
at these stats real quick. Christian McCaffrey, 52 touchdowns. Saquon, 35. And both have been injured. Saquon's obviously been injured more.
Yep.
Now, rushing yards, you're kind of correct. Saquon, 5,211.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, 6,185.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that is almost 1,000 more. But again, Saquon's missed a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Christian has 29 receiving touchdowns. Saquon has 12.
Mm-hmm.
So Christian is better than Saquon at this point. He's been to an NFC championship game. He's been to the Super Bowl. He won Offensive Player of the Year. He led the league in rushing. Has Saquon done that?
No.
No. He went to 2 Pro Bowls, which who cares about Pro Bowls, but Christian's a 3-time first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro. I thought he won Offensive Player of the Year last year. I
I
mean,
mean,
for me, again, I'm kind of taking the credit. I'm riding the Christian McCaffrey train because I always liked him and thought the Eagles should take him. I did not think he would be this good. I don't think anyone thought that. And there's potential for him to go down as one of the greatest running backs of all time. Not saying Saquon can't, but do you think we're going to give Saquon a second contract?
no, this is it.
Exactly. So how could Saquon be better than Christian McCaffrey? Or I mean, I guess if we win 2 Super Bowls in the next 4 years, yeah. But
If we
we're
win
just
one
trying to
Super
look
Bowl,
for
if we win
one.
one Super Bowl with him, we'll be better than him.
I mean, but like Adrian Peterson won none, and he's probably
Right.
still considered one of the best of all time.
Correct.
So it's kind
I'm
of
just
hard. I
all
sorry,
all
go
I'm
ahead.
saying is you put Saquon Barkley on this team of juggernauts. You're gonna see this year. You're gonna be like, "Holy shit, Kyle! You were right. This guy's amazing." And I'm predicting the text
No,
message
I
right now
I
as I'm
agree.
sitting
I'm
at the bar.
excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm gonna be sitting at the bar drinking my Surfside bucket that's very cheap on Sundays. You're gonna be texting me be like, "Holy shit, 250 yards rushing in one game already?" Be like, "Yep."
But what we don't have a good history of signing free agency running backs. Like we have to
No,
be
we
honest
don't.
there.
He's
DeAndre
not a running
Swift,
back
probably
though.
the best. LeGarrette Blunt and DeAndre Swift come to mind, but there's been a ton of misses. No, Saquon's better than all of them. I will give you
Yeah,
that.
he's not a running
But
back. He's an everything player. He's a fine tool player.
if we had Christian McCaffrey, just because he's proven, we would win the Super Bowl. Like hands down, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Because our receivers are better than San Francisco. When they're playing at all-time high, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, they're better than Debo and Brandon Ayuk. They are.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
they are.
they're
They are.
underrated.
They are. I think they have the better tight end though.
Yeah, at this point, Goddard's been a disappointment. I'm ready to honestly, if he doesn't have a good year, it's time to move on. And to pay him kind of was a mistake, a
Yep.
tiny bit. Um, because we could have kept Zach Ertz for maybe like another year. I mean, Zach Ertz is still in the NFL. He's fucking playing for Washington, which should be weird and a little bit of a not big story.
Yeah.
Also Zeke back with the Cowboys is fucking so weird too because Zeke is like done. Um, but yeah, so it should be interesting. I'm very excited for Saquon. I just don't want to like have all-time high expectations like you do, and then God forbid it's like a DeMarco Murray. I should like knock on wood and never even say that.
The only
I don't think it's going to be, but like you don't know, right?
the only way he will not put up historic numbers this year is if he gets hurt. That's the only
And he has
way.
a history of doing that.
Right. Correct. You're right. But I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to think
He's
positively.
never played 17 games. His big year that he got hurt was 2020. 13 games in 21, 13 games in 2019, 14 last year, 16. Oh, wait, never mind. There wasn't 17 games
Mhm.
before that. So he played 2 seasons where he played all the games.
Yep.
Um, he's only had over 1,000 yards 3 times. So yeah, he's been like a mixed bag, and I've seen him have impressive moments, but they're kind of buried because of how bad the Giants are. And it wasn't on a consistent basis. Like he never had like a 3 game hot streak or a 5 game hot streak. Or am I missing something there?
No, you're probably right. I mean, the one year they went to the playoffs, he carried them to the postseason. So he had to have a couple games where he was on fire. So I mean, you're going to see a lot more of that this year because we have a better offensive line, better quarterback, better coaching, better wide receivers, just better everything. We have a better fan base. The fans are stupid up in New York or Jersey, wherever you want to call it. We actually have fans that care. So if you're not doing your job, he's going to hear it, and he's gonna bust his ass. So
Now, what I will say, which I really like, he only has 3 lost fumbles in his entire career.
yeah, he
That
doesn't fumble the
that
ball.
that's wild and that's huge. So I love that. I mean, that's like unreal.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah,
want
and
to
guess
see how
what?
many.
And guess what Mr. Christian McCaffrey did last year in the Super Bowl? He fumbled the ball. first
Well,
possession.
Christian only has 4, so like I mean he's
Yeah, he
fumbled
did
a
it in the
lot
biggest
more.
moment.
He's fumbled a lot more, but only 4 have been like lost fumbles. And Saquon
Yeah.
obviously fumbled more, but they kept possession. They recovered it.
Do you remember how
Um,
many times Carson Wentz would fumble? Like Jesus Christ.
well, honestly, Jalen Hurts, no shade, but he was not good last year with that
No, he
either.
wasn't. I agree with that.
Held the ball too long.
Which
One
which
last thing
brings
about
which me which, and it's funny. That's a good segue because you said he wasn't that great last year, which brings me into that whole ranking thing. He was ranked 15th overall in the top
no,
100.
I didn't say he wasn't that good. I said he like that was a problem, the turnovers.
No, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, we as Eagles fans, we didn't think he was good at all last year, and
Well,
he
he
was in a
was good. No, we were negative. That 10-1 stretch against Washington, against Buffalo, he put up big numbers. The AJ streak against Miami, he was good. People were scared of him. He won that Buffalo game single-handedly. If
yeah,
we
I
didn't have him, we
guess.
wouldn't have won. He beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, he did. Well, no, I mean Patrick
The
Mahomes kind
Chiefs
of
beat
beat the Chiefs on
themselves. Okay,
Monday
the Chiefs
Football.
beat themselves, but he did.
Yeah,
He made the plays he had to make.
yeah. And you
So yeah,
could you could you could you could also say the Bills beat themselves too because he missed Gabe Davis in the end zone. So I mean,
that there was a wild, like, why did all those receivers drop all those balls? Like, it was kind of like a freaky, like, all right, is this meant to be? Like, what the fuck is happening?
it was all bullshit.
That did happen a lot, but like you could go through every season from every team all time and find plays like that. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And we're gonna forget about it in a couple of years, just like it probably happened. Who knows when? For the Eagles in the 2010s, and we really don't remember it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do the top 100 NFL quarterbacks so far. I'm going to look up if any more were released. I think they come out like once a week. And then we're going to talk about Quinyon Mitchell. So if you want to pull that up on your phone too, just so we can both be looking at it. I'm sure you maybe already have it up.
Cool.
This ranking is very interesting. Again, it's such a topic of conversation. We mentioned earlier quarterbacks get paid the most amount of money. And this was actually talked about on Speak, which I'm a big fan of with Joy Taylor, LaShawn McCoy. Emmanuel Acho is kind of like so corny and fake. James Jones, I like as well. They were basically saying, shouldn't quarterbacks, and also Skip Bayless was saying this, like, shouldn't quarterbacks be like the top like 20, 15 players because they're the most valuable? And we're going to go over this list. And again, this is voted by the players. So, like, who are we to, like, they're the ones on the field. So,
Correct.
and also the defenses voted for this. Defenses vote for the offensive players vote for the defensive players. Can't vote from themselves. Yeah, you can vote, for your teammate possibly, but that equals out. Hertz is literally 15 on this list of 12 to 94, the rankings, which I'll give them right now. 94, Trevor Lawrence. 92, Aaron Rodgers. 81, Kirk Cousins. 75, Justin Herbert. 48, Goff. 42, Matthew Stafford. 39, Joe Burrow. 36, Tunga Tailoa. 34, Jordan Love. 28, Brock Purdy. 20, CJ Stroud. 16, Dak Prescott. 15, Jalen Hurts. 12, Josh Allen.
So
Now, yeah,
three.
go your initial reaction, and then I'll give mine.
I have three quarterbacks that were better than Jalen Hurts last year. I'm gonna
On
go
that list
on
or
that
like all?
list.
Okay.
On that list, I'm gonna go. Sorry, Eagles fans. I'm gonna go Dak Prescott. I'm gonna go Jordan Love, and I'm gonna go Brock Purdy. Those three quarterbacks were better than Jalen Hurts last year in the
I
regular
see.
season.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said Josh Allen, Dak, and
No, no, no,
Brock Purdy.
nope. I said Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, and Jordan Love. Those quarterbacks are
Not
better than.
CJ, not CJ Stroud, and not Josh Allen.
Well, Josh Allen's going to be top 10, right?
Well, he was ranked one above Hurts. He was ranked at 12.
Really?
Yeah, that came out already. Did you not see that?
With Josh Allen should be in the top 10.
I feel like people are mixed about Josh Allen. I agree. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with I think it's very interesting the Dak and Hurts conversation because they're 15 and 16. Dak, if he would have won that playoff game, he would have definitely been ranked higher. again, but it's like the fear factor and like who's harder to game plan for. Everyone wanted to say that Hurts had, all this talent around him, but newsflash, Dak does too.
Yeah, he
CeeDee
does.
Lamb, Micah
Mm.
Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, is fucking Demarcus Lawrence is still there, right?
DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't believe so. No,
Who's their other DNs? Oh my god, am I
no,
like
they
in
have.
another year? Is
Um,
Demarcus Lawrence retired? I thought he was still there.
yeah, yeah, he's not there anymore.
Who's another? Who's oh they have what's that other corner? That's good.
They
Blank.
got Trayvon Diggs and well, he exploded his ACL last year, so they went to a backup
But he was
immediately.
he was like interceptions like crazy. So what I'm saying is, yeah, the Eagles have talent too, but Hurts shined. Him and AJ shined more than anyone. I
Mm,
mean, the Eagles, Jason Kelsey got credit, and he's a center. The
mm.
Cowboys defense really shined and like had a bunch of stats. And also, who did Dak really beat last year? Again, this is he beat us, so like we really can't say anything. He did beat the Lions, but that was like such bullshit, that 2 point
Yeah, that was BS.
conversion. Now we're gonna give him credit because again, we beat the Chiefs and the Bills because they dropped, easy touchdowns. But that was just such a fuck up on the refs. Like they should have had another opportunity and they
Yep.
didn't. And again, Dak lost to the Dolphins. They got blown out by Buffalo. Yes, it was in Buffalo, but Buffalo was struggling themselves at that time. Also, I don't remember if you remember, but Buffalo was like dead in the water in mid-season last year, and they ended
Yeah.
up winning a playoff game.
Yep.
And another reason, Hurts and Dak both got eliminated in the wild card rounds and did not play well in their wild card games. And Jalen Hurts made it to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that's why I think Hurts is ranked ahead of Dak. Obviously, as an Eagles fan, I love this. This was voted on by the players.
Hmm.
It's not the fans voting, it's not the fan base, it's not even the coaches. What's the all right, besides Hurts, what's the biggest problem that I have with this list? I would say that Joe Burrow is way too low. I know he missed time last year, and I think it was a decent amount of time. Actually, the Bengals still finished 9-8 with their backup, so that's pretty impressive. But Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback. Um, he should be
I
at
think he's
least
a
in the
little.
20s.
I think he's a little overrated.
But he's the only quarterback from the AFC that's made the Super Bowl besides Patrick Mahomes. He
I
beat
get.
Patrick
I
Mahomes.
get it. I get it. But like at the
He
end of
can
the
do it
day, it's
again.
like yeah, I understand it. But he also has Jamar Chase. So I mean, it's one of those things where is he?
Right. Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs.
No, he doesn't. He has
Oh well,
nobody.
now he doesn't, but he did, and he couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
And you think Josh Allen, you would take Josh Allen over Joe Burrow, but Joe
Yes.
Burrow
Yes.
beat Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. I disagree with that.
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to get beat eventually. I mean, there's only so many title games you could win.
I don't know. I think it's a mental thing. It's kind of like Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like these teams are just, I don't know if they're scared, but it's like, all right, we're playing the fucking Chiefs. Like they're the cream of the crop. I think
Yeah.
it's a mental thing for these AFC teams because there is so many good teams. The Ravens, but look at Lamar Jackson. The Ravens did not play well in that AFC championship game last year. And I picked the Ravens to win. I really did
My
think it
buddy,
was.
my buddy bet $500 on the Ravens, and he was like almost crying.
You really can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the
No,
Chiefs right now. You really,
no.
really can't. So, besides who you would take over, okay, so where would you put Hurts on this list then? Would you just have him below Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, and Dak?
He was a top 15 quarterback last year. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the only other thing you could say is Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he got hurt on 3 plays, so it's like it's weird. Where do you rank him? Obviously, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Now, this season, another a little bit off topic, and then we'll get back to the Eagles. Do you think this season, whatever Aaron Rodgers does, will really affect his legacy? Or is it like say he like they just don't do well. They miss the playoffs. He's okay. God forbid he gets injured again and has to retire. What will we like? Will we still remember the MVP Aaron Rodgers, or will this be like a blemish and be like, this didn't really work out and he should have stayed with the Packers? And obviously he has like really radical views and he's been getting into Twitter wars and like all this shit. So like,
Yeah.
what do you think of current Aaron Rodgers and where he will be after this season? And
Well,
what
I
will he do
think
this season?
so. If I think if he fails this year, he's not going to go out like that. He's going to take the Brett Favre approach, where he went to the Jets, and then he's going to go somewhere for another chance
The
at a
Vi- the
title.
Vi- the Vikings, the Vikings could use him, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That would
exactly.
be
So
wild.
I could see that.
Yeah, but like he's older. He's not Tom Brady as far as winning. And that's the thing
Hmm.
with talent. Like he has one Super Bowl. So it's like, how could you even compare him to Tom Brady at all? Do you agree?
Well, if you're comparing him as a quarterback, like style and skill, Aaron Rodgers is definitely better than Tom Brady. But if you're thinking winning and all-time wins and stuff like that, it's obviously Tom Brady.
Super Bowls. Like,
Yeah.
well, then who's better?
I mean, that's like saying Eli Manning's better than Dan Marino because he has two titles. It's like it's different.
Okay, but we're talking about they played in the same era. Eli and Dan Marino did not play at the same time.
Correct.
These two played at the same era. Tom Brady delivered and Aaron Rodgers didn't.
Mm.
Now, Tom Brady had the better coach, which we think. Also, Bill Belichick is like wild right now. Did you see like him with that like young girl? I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on? I thought he was
I've
married.
seen
Like, what the fuck?
yeah, I've seen some
He's having
crazy
a
memes
midlife
on
crisis
X.
at 70. Sorry, go ahead.
I've seen some crazy memes on X. It's yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I think he's starting a show. I think he'll probably get a job. I don't even know. It's weird. Like him having this young girlfriend, whatever. None of my business, but
I don't know how the
it's just
parents are okay with it. It's just fucking weird.
it's out of left field as hell. Like, did he like
Yeah.
divorce his wife? Like, I thought he was married. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's like an end of life crisis.
yeah, for real. Like, and I guess I would feel that way too. And I would be depressed. Like, that's the way I went out with this great organization. I wish I could have like retired on my own terms after a Super Bowl win. And like, he was greedy. He could have done that. They had opportunities to do that. He's not like he's a young spring chicken, and then he probably could have been like a senior advisor or still been the GM or something. But again, power, money, ego. Um, so yeah, in my case, I just can't put Aaron Rodgers anywhere close to Tom Brady. Obviously, very freaking talented, stats amazing. Like, he's had so many moments. I always go back to that Detroit Lions Thursday night
Mm.
game where he literally just threw that bomb up in the end zone, like the Hail Mary that never fucking works. And I think he did it twice, right?
Yep.
Like,
No, he did.
how?
He did it
How?
three times. He did it three times. He did it once in Green Bay, once in Detroit, and then he did it once in the playoff game against the Cardinals to send it to overtime.
Also, I remember with Aaron Rodgers, him beating the Dallas Cowboys, which we love. Like, he played outstanding in all of those games, especially like to break their hearts. What, two? Was it two or three? I think it might have been two times.
Yep.
Um, like, it's like you can't take that away from him. Like, those are defining moments. It's just the NFC title games. Um, every single time it just did not work out. And
No.
for that reason, he can't be considered better than Tom Brady, or I mean, maybe he's top five. But if someone has two Super Bowls more than him, besides Eli, I would put him over Eli. But even like John Elway, Troy Aikman, I'll probably put him over Troy Aikman. But like, you have to win Super Bowls to define your legacy.
The
Like, look at
only
McNabb. He
the
didn't. He
only
only won like.
the only quarterback I'll put above Aaron Rodgers skill wise in that era was Peyton Manning. That's the only one.
Okay, but like you care about stats and yards
Yes.
because Peyton Manning lost a lot in the playoffs, like in
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're basically, I guess that's why you're taking Dak over Hurts. You know what I mean? Because you could say that about Dak did that more than
I mean,
Jalen last year. But
I'm
like,
not taking Dak over Hurts. I'm saying Dak was better last year for sure.
no, I agree. Now, did they have an easier schedule? One could say so. They played the
Yeah.
Giants, Commanders, and Panthers all back to back.
And we had the Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers all back to back.
Yeah, and the Cowboys and the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's
Seahawks were
ridiculous.
so back to this. We're gonna wrap this up, and then we have a couple more topics to get to before we get out of here. Um, Brock Purdy's a mystery. I feel like people don't want to give him the credit that he deserves.
Mhm.
Now, would he be better on a different team? It doesn't really matter. I think we said that before. I think he's good at 28. I would probably put him up a little bit. But again, I'm taking Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford over Brock Purdy. Jared Goff is a very interesting case, another person that's been disrespected, and like the Rams threw him out really for no good reason. Yeah, it worked out for them, but like Jared Goff is solid. You know, he's better than Carson Wentz. You know, we didn't have a choice to make that pick, but the Rams took him over Carson Wentz for a reason.
Yeah.
Um, he's also just someone that's more like low key, fucking just goes to work, does his job. He's like, you know, not someone that's out here trying to preach God and Jesus or fucking hunting and all that crazy shit, but we won't get
Yeah.
into that.
Smiling with
You
a
know,
dead deer just in your front
yeah, like
yard.
we don't know anything about Jared Goff, and sometimes
Yeah.
that's better. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to create any drama or opinions, you know. So, um, Justin Herbert, very overrated to me. I'll just say it right now. Just okay, great talent, but like Phillips Rivers, in my opinion, was more talented, and they can't win. Kirk Cousins, what can you say? It's just it's over, dude. Like I don't understand. Like could you ever see Kirk Cousins winning a Super Bowl or even reaching the championship game?
Uh, with that Atlanta Falcons team, maybe it's possible. It's
I
possible.
just don't. I don't. I see Kirk throwing a pick.
They have
And
talent.
they're young, and again, I love who's their running back. They should have used him
Bijan
more.
Robinson.
Oh my god, he like that was criminal that they just like stopped using him last year because he was really good in fantasy. I had him in fantasy for a couple weeks.
Hmm.
I think he's a freaking stud. Good, kudos to them. But oh my god, who was that Raiders running back who led the league in rushing and then like I don't even think he re-signed with them.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I don't know. So running backs are weird. Also, the Raiders are just a terrible organization,
Yeah, they
and
really are.
I like them, but like, damn, like, goddamn, they're so bad.
I like
The
I
job.
like their stadium. I mean, their starter going into the year is Gardner Minshew. So
Did you go to this? Oh, did you go to Las Vegas or Oakland?
Las Vegas.
Oh, I'm sure that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it was a nice
Um,
stadium.
but anything? Actually, let's look up real quick if the top 10 was released. I don't believe so. Maybe we can do Madden ratings next week. That would be fun. NFL top 100 players. Let's see. 2 days ago, my personal top 10. Yeah, this is just someone's freaking opinion. Let me see when it comes out. I'm sure it'll be out by next week and we can talk about that. Actually, let's go over the Eagles real quick that made the top 100. That'll be fun. Let me just Google
Yeah,
that.
Raiders QB competition is between Minshew, AOC, bridge quarterback either way. Yep.
Who the hell is
Not politic,
AOC?
not political AOC. Callahan.
Who the fuck is AOC?
Callahan.
I don't know who the hell that is. Is he a
Aiden.
rookie? Oh, yeah.
Aiden.
Oh, no, he was
Yeah.
the one that was playing last year, right? That
Yeah,
like
Aiden Callahan, the
freaking.
one with the weird ass mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, he's freaking weird looking for sure. So yeah, if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm freaking disgusted. But they're another fan base like the Giants that it's like they're living off the past. They
Mm.
still show up in droves, so nothing's gonna change. I mean, I don't know. Like you had John Gruden, and look what happened to him. He was literally, I think that really set the organization back a long time because
No,
that's just
listen.
disgusting
All right,
what
all right.
came out
So
about him.
I'm
And you
gonna
could
I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I think them having John Gruden would have kept them in limbo. I don't think they were going anywhere with John Gruden.
No, I
They're-
agree.
yeah, I
No, I
think
agree. It was good for them,
I
but
think
like
them
they
having
had no choice but to get rid of him.
well, I think them having Antonio Pierce is a good direction for the franchise.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. Um, but like I don't know. I don't know if it's too little, too late. It's just it is what it is. I mean, you can't really get excited about the Raiders.
Mhm.
All right, let me see where
No, it's
these
cool,
Eagles
Anthony.
rank.
We knew you weren't talking about a political AOC.
Yeah, I didn't at first, but all right. So besides Hurts, there's four other Eagles that have made the list so far. Maybe Jason Kelsey will be in the top 10.
Hmm.
I would say he is because he has not been on he has to be, right?
I mean,
Because
he
he
doesn't
wasn't on he
have to be.
hasn't been on the list yet.
He could miss the list completely for sure.
Now I don't know if retired play. I mean, it was the top players from
Last year,
last season,
yeah,
so he has to be on there. I
yeah,
think he might be like 11 or 10. Like I don't know. He has to be.
could be.
No Fletcher Cox either, but
When
Cox
does
was
that
old.
show come out?
All right, so the next one. All right, so 1 to 10 at 8 p.m. tonight.
Okay,
So we will definitely talk about that next week. So anyways, Devontae Smith at 90, Saquon Barkley, who played for the Giants last year, 86,
okay.
Lane Johnson, 41, and then it was
Too
AJ Brown
high.
at 21. For
AJ
who?
Brown at 21, Lane Johnson at 41. That's way too low. Um,
So
Lane Johnson
you
should
were
be in
like
the
literally,
20s.
you literally are an AJ Brown hater. You wanted to trade his ass. Like
No, I'm
I
talking
don't get
about
it.
I'm talking about Lane Johnson being at 41. He should be in the top 20.
I thought you just said AJ Brown too high at 21.
No, 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 not at all. I think AJ Brown is actually too low, if anything.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a good spot for AJ.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I disagree that anyone else should be on this list. I guess the only other person, someone from the O line, like a Landon Dickerson. I mean, I really can't think of anyone else that I would put on this list from last season. The whole defense just did not play well again. Fletcher Cox, but he didn't have a top 100 player season. He was better than we expected. He was decent. He was good, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's hope that changes this year.
Yeah, Smitty, Anthony says Smitty at 90 is insane in my opinion. He was a wide receiver number 2 in high school offense, but still put up 1,000 yards. I mean, yeah, I mean Smitty's always going to be the afterthought in this offense, though. So that's how you got to feel it. You got to look at it. 90 is a little bit insane,
Yeah,
though.
but
I agree.
a number two wide receiver is in the top 100. Like that's
Yeah,
pretty impressive at its own. You
yeah,
know.
mm,
Also,
yeah,
when Brown got hurt, we didn't. The offense wasn't. It was the whole offense was bad at the end of the season, but like he didn't step up. I mean, we'll just say it for what it is, right?
yeah. Well, we know why he didn't step up, but you know we're not going to say it.
I mean, you know more than me, so
Yeah,
who
I mean it
knows?
was obvious, but
You'll have to tell me more off air for sure.
yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we have left? Okay, a few minutes left here. I'm gonna cover two more things. Not to mention AJB had that 6 week stretch from Anthony. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was the greatest moment for a wide receiver for the Eagles since T.O. or Deshaun Jackson, but I would put it over Deshaun. Because Deshaun never did that. He does have the most over whatever how many yards, long touchdowns, but that wasn't all with the Eagles.
No.
Um, that's why AJ Brown's at 21, and I think AJ Brown has potential to be a future Hall of Famer. It's just about health with him, but he's still very, very young. What is he, 26?
AJ Brown's
Or
25, turning 26.
All right, so he still has at least 4 great years ahead of him.
More than that.
You will think that he would slow down eventually, but hopefully he can turn into like a Larry Fitzgerald. Now, no one's Larry Fitzgerald, but Larry Fitzgerald slowed down and still was like great.
Yep.
Um, it just depends on, and I think AJ will mature. He's not going to be like, oh, he's actually 27 right now.
Woo! I was wrong.
So he just turned 27 in June. So yeah, I would say he still has 3 years left of his prime. But we know these players take hits. So like the age 30, it's a stereotype for a reason. So yeah, we have 3 great years of AJ left. Hopefully 5 with 32. But we will see. I mean, if he can turn into a Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, look at Larry. He played till what? He was like 37 for the Cardinals his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see. But again, we don't do that. Alshon was shot after the Super Bowl win. Obviously, great there. But yeah, we haven't had like a long-term wide receiver in a long time. They got rid of Macklin and Deshaun. They got rid of T.O. Like, I don't know. So hopefully AJ's that one.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell beginning to see more time at nickel in the starting defense.
Okay.
This is a very interesting evaluation because we have Darius Slay on the outside. Who is going to be your other outside corner? If it's not Quinyon, unless this is just for like special packages.
It's gonna be Rogers.
That would honestly really shock me if he is that good and we got him because he was released from the Colts for gambling.
That's the only reason why he. That's the only reason why. Um, I mean, he was always good, but he was suspended
Why
last
did
year.
they release him though? Why didn't they just
Be-
suspend him?
I don't
They
know.
had
I,
to?
I have no idea. Maybe they're just pissed off at him.
It's so stupid. Also, it's stupid on him because why wouldn't you just have like your family member or your friend bet for you?
Because they were gonna find out eventually. There's all patterns.
How? How? That's not illegal.
No, but there's Of course it is. But you're going through someone else. It's actually more illegal if you do that because it's technically money laundering. So
But
it's
how
it's
would
e-
someone find out and who would report it? Like your family member, your friend? Like how would someone
if
unless this
some
person's just winning mad money and that like if they're investigated, I
well
guess.
you
But
got
like
well you got to think about patterns. Like, does that family member have $10,000 to bet like Isaiah Rogers has to
oh,
bet?
okay, you're saying if they actually give them
Correct.
money. I was saying that he's just telling him information on what to bet,
Oh,
but
that's
with his
even
own
that
money,
might
and
that
then
might be
he
even
would give him some money or whatever the case would.
that might be even worse.
Well, like, but how would anyone find out about that?
It depends on how many times you accomplish it. If you
You
do
don't
it
think
one
family members of players bet and like
if you
wives and kids?
if you do it once, I think you could get away with it. If you do it multiple times, it'll be a problem. Now, here's the thing. What just to
Also,
answer
they
your
don't even
question,
need to be betting. They make so much. You don't even need to be
but
fucking betting, right?
to answer your question, I mean, no, I don't think family members bet on the games because it's illegal if they did. You know, if they're telling them information like someone's hurt,
It,
that's inside
I don't
information.
think
That's like taking a stock when it's about to dump and being and selling it because you know it's about to dump. You know, it's illegal.
I did not know that was a law. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I really want to look that up. Can NFL player
Yeah, the only the only people that get information before the general public is Las Vegas and other sports book. That's it.
All right, so yeah, they can't gamble and players can never place or solicit a facilitable bet.
Yeah.
I can't even say the word right now. Either directly or through a third party. But can football family bet any football related gambling strictly prohibited? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a very slippery slope. And again, I don't know how people would find out about it
Hmm.
unless, FanDuel is reporting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, FanDuel, DraftKings, and any other sports book, they have to report every single wager that goes out.
So they're really cracking down. Like there's a lot that we don't see behind the scenes happening to make sure all of that is legal, and
Correct. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But again, you always have shit that slips through the cracks. Look at people fucking doing their taxes, not filing their taxes. They never get. So it's like,
No,
you're
I
taking that
mean,
chance,
I
right?
mean, if we're gonna get on that note, I mean, the IRS knows exactly how much you owe them, but they want you to figure out how much to give them.
So
So it's
stupid.
like,
It's the
yeah,
dumbest thing
exactly.
ever.
Yep.
So like they want you to fuck up or
Yes.
forget, right?
Correct. Correct.
So what? They can charge you more
A
money
penalty.
or like
They could charge you a
what?
penalty. Yeah. Yeah, they could charge you a penalty. They could charge you up to a 5% penalty. I mean, they could scare you with more, but they can cap it at 5%, and you'd have to get a lawyer to get the rest released.
Yeah,
But up
that should be illegal. Like literally.
no, it literally is illegal, but they don't you don't have the funds to tell them what to do. So you have to get a lawyer in order to get that expunged, if that makes any sense.
Now, I'm not educated on this, but like how the NFL players have a players association, like we as citizens should fucking have that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, not with the government, like something independent. Like, I don't know why that's not a thing. I don't like I guess you could say not like that's not like a union because the union's funded by the government, but like
They're never going to give a private citizen that kind of right. I mean, they're always going to make it difficult for you because if you go into a courtroom with
but
discovery,
you
which
agree
means you
that
represent.
something like that should exist? I mean, they say like our delegates and our state representatives should be that, but we know that's bullshit.
It's all
Like,
bullshit. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you go into, let me give you an example. If you go into a courtroom with discovery, which means you represent yourself, you have no chance because they put it in the rules to where you have to have certain representation to do anything and defend yourself. So they put everything against you. Everything is stacked against you. It's not fair. It's
yeah, and like
basically what I'm
why
saying.
would it, I mean, and like if we were in that position, but like I wouldn't, I don't know, I'm not fucking evil. Yeah, like I would want the most money and like whatever, I don't want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
But like Jesus Christ, you're like ruining someone's fucking life and you just don't give a fuck. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
Like you're literally that heartless. Like you don't care
Hmm.
about humankind. You don't care about this person's life at all. So that's really
It's
fucked up.
it's their job. It's what they sign up for.
But like this country preaches like, we're like whatever, united, like all that bullshit. But like we're really like take care of your people more than
Yeah.
like especially in those ways, because again, what the IRS does, a lot of just different things, charging for like ridiculous things,
Hmm.
the taxing on every single thing. Again, if you miss a toll, like you got to pay even more, but it could have been
50
a fucking
bucks.
mistake.
Yep.
It could have been a fucking mistake or a technological thing, and you got to like prove your fucking innocence, or you're
Yep.
gonna get charged. What like that type of shit? Like we're giving you money already, but you're so fucking greedy that you want two times that money for like the simplest human error. Like fuck you, you
Well, I
know?
mean, look at all the bridges and tolls. Like they're all paid off, but we still pay tolls. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
and also they're not even fucking nice. They're like
they're not
old
nice
as
at all.
hell. They're gloomy. Like I don't get it. I know I can't imagine how much money it costs to run this country. Now we can debate if that money's being used wisely, but like, me and my boyfriend always say like he wants to like start like a beautify America campaign just to make shit nicer. And I kind of agree because I'm moving to Philly, not really around Philly, but some parts it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like I'd be depressed if I fucking lived here. And Jersey too. Even there's bads and good parts of every area, but like, make things better for the people. I mean, we know that's bullshit, but like it shouldn't be. Like I feel like if you get into politics, it's for the money, it's for whatever agenda, but I don't know. Is it all just fucking fake? Like rallies, like why wouldn't you want to help and be passionate and like go down in history as like a great person? Like I don't I guess they just choose money. Like I you
They're all about the power. They're all about the power and the money. They don't give a fuck about the citizen. Once you give them your vote, that's it. They don't care. Not to get
And like
political, guys.
why
I'm sorry. This is a
but
sports
why
show,
but
but
why is that?
why is that? Because
Why
people are
can't they
power
why can't
hungry.
they have why can't they have both? Because they're giving up power if they help the citizen?
Because to get to that top spot in political rankings, you have to do some evil shit to
And
get
like
there.
how it started off, just like a billionaire, like the
Yep.
exact same thing.
Yep.
So they're
Exactly.
not good people.
No,
Oh yeah,
not a lot. A lot of them were not good people. No.
I completely agree.
Yep.
And that's why I think you just need younger candidates in general. Not saying that they haven't been, developed or like what's the word? Groomed by their family and followed their family and shit, but like I don't know. I give humans too much credit. I do. But with social media, you should be educated a lot more than previous generations about like what's right and what's wrong.
Yep.
And if you aren't, it's your job to like fix that, not your environment. Like
Right.
it's different because some people like never saw anything else besides their hometown. Now you can see a million places just on your fucking phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have faith for that for some advancement. But we know that old money, like it runs deep. It's never going away in the current climate. But we just have to be hopeful that like the people that get in 20 years aren't this fucking diabolical and just again so fake.
Yeah.
And everyone falls for it. Do they not?
Every single time. Every single time. But
Because you want to be like what you don't want like I don't know. Unless again that would probably start like a revolution if everyone's like, all right, we our opinion is this is bullshit, but like that's not the human thing to do. Like you want to be passionate, get behind someone that's fun, but open your eyes eventually. I mean, it would help. It would
I
help
think a lot
if
more,
you did
and not
it.
to make this, and sorry guys for making this a little bit political, but like, and it's like I honestly think a lot of people are opening their eyes. I don't think a lot of people are just brainwashed anymore. I think a lot of people have had enough, and they're starting to realize that this isn't what they voted for.
But
And
there's nothing that we can do about it.
no, absolutely not. The only thing we can do about is try to put the right person in there that can do the job. That's about
Well,
it.
you just said they're all evil and all manipulative. So it's like it doesn't matter who it is, right?
A
At this
majority. All right,
at
let me
this
rephrase
point
that.
in time.
A majority of them are evil. I'd say maybe 5% are trying to do the right thing.
All right, well, we're not going to go there exactly. I mean, again, you said anyone that gets to that point, they had to do some evil shit to get there,
Yep.
and that's your character.
Hmm.
Because I don't know. Maybe we would, I don't know. I couldn't, it depends on what it is, but I'm not a fucked up person. I know you aren't. Like, we have fucking boundaries, we have morals. And again, we would be happy with 5 million. We don't need fucking 500 million. Like, just, like we would love money, but you can live off 5 million.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't know when to stop. It's
Yeah.
fucking insane. It's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, guys, this was a great show. I did want to talk about one more thing. You got to run. You got to get off of here. But it's the Dallas Cowboys. Do you want to stay on for a little bit more?
Yeah, yeah, we're at an hour and a half. It's our longest show of the season so far. But I just want to say something before we finish off here. So basically, as the football season is coming about, we are going to do two shows. We're going to do Monday and Friday during the season. We don't know what times yet for Monday. Friday will probably be the same time ish, but for Monday, we don't know what time yet. I'm going to come in and out post game and give my recent thoughts right after the game whenever I can. But as for a show, we're gonna be on like maybe afternoon, maybe morning on Mondays,
I think
depending on how
seven. I
things
think
go.
7 to 8. I think even 7 to 8, if that would work for you, would be a good time right before Monday
So,
Night Football.
yeah, that's perfect. That works. But
So
yeah,
let's see.
we're gonna do two shows because we want to keep you guys in a loop as much as possible. Obviously we're a year-round show, so a lot of the shows we've been doing so far have been, I'm not gonna say fluff, but a lot of the shows have been leading up to what we're gonna get into these next four
Yeah, I
weeks.
think we've had some interesting topics. Like we all love Eagles history. I think a
Yeah.
football historian, like that's what we kind of live for too. So that's
Hmm.
always fun. But of course, the most exciting thing is what's happening now. Now, if we were fucking terrible now, we would not be saying that, but we're in a boom period. So
They're in a good
that
spot.
definitely
Yeah.
helps.
Yep.
We definitely want to bring guests on in the future. Hopefully we can take phone calls at some point, which would be really, really
Phone
cool.
calls are a big thing to me, so we'll definitely be doing that during the season. What week I have no idea, but I'm gonna talk to my producer that we're gonna bring in, and we're gonna get that going. So
And like we said, we definitely want to have some guests on for different opinions, different dynamics. If there's anyone that you want to see, definitely throw it in the comments or send us a DM on our Facebook page, Fly Like an Eagle Podcast, the Twitter, and we should be having an Instagram coming soon, which would
we
be
will
really, really cool.
definitely. So what do
Alrighty,
you want to
ready
talk
for
about?
our
The
final topic?
Yep.
All right. So this is obviously heating up. It's the Dallas Cowboys. For the past 15 years, probably longer, this team, they're at some point, this is the most talked about team, a storyline. Even if there isn't one, they're making one up. I would say this year, honestly, because they're pretty irrelevant because of how last year ended. And this isn't like a new story like Dak and Zeke. Remember that contract thing the like previous year? This isn't new. But like, yeah, it's interesting. Will they both end up being signed? Yes. I think CD is holding out. Dak is there. They both need new contracts. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, Dak Prescott, I mean, like, again, it's the Cowboys. That's why it's being talked about so much. Are these two really good players? Yes. But it's just like the definition of mediocrity and also that saying, the definition of sanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. CeeDee Lamb, now you can win with him. Can you win with Dak? Not in the playoffs. You can't. I don't know what it is about him because he comes off very confident. This man, I mean, again, we're Eagles fans, but like I feel like I hated Dak when he was younger, but now it's like, okay. I mean, we kind of like respect him because he doesn't win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he is a warrior. Like all his personal life is literally a tragedy. And you would never know when he is on the field in interviews, like the shit that he went through, and to still be as successful and like stable as he is like unfathomable for the normal person.
Yeah.
So with that, and then his talent on the field, he just makes the best decisions. He's very smart with the football and where to go. He doesn't do dumb shit besides the playoffs and random. So but it's like Tony Romo, and he's not as talented as Romo throwing the ball. I think he's smarter than Romo because Romo threw so many pick sixes, like a ton. But it's like, okay, what are you signing Dak to? Is he resetting the market? Is he getting paid the most for a quarterback? And
No.
like, if the Cowboys do this, it's gonna be more of the same. Maybe they'll win one playoff game, but until they do it, like they've had years. Like the conference was weak. They should have beat the Packers. They could have beat the Rams or Lions, and they would have been against the 49ers. They probably would have lost,
Yeah.
but like they couldn't even do that. So they're gonna beat a better Eagles team. I think the Lions are the same, if not better. The Packers are gonna be way better. I mean, there's not that. Who else would you say is gonna be a threat? I mean, there's not
Ravens.
that many great teams, but I think a lot of teams are getting better. Like the Falcons and Bears are wild cards,
Could
but
be.
I think it's mainly us that's going to come back, and then the Packers are really going to be a force. I could see them winning that division because I mean, I can't see the Lions. Lions have never won the division back to back in their history.
Yeah. It's
Um,
true.
so they always miss their opportunities, even when it's easy. Number one seeds, they can't do it. So sign CD, but Dak's a question mark. I mean, people are paying for Kirk Cousins still, but if you want to win, you can't keep doing the same thing over. You're making the same mistake.
I agree, man. I agree with everything you just said, and it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with Dak Prescott because we both know he's not gonna be in the market to make as much or as more as Patrick Mahomes. You know, he's not going to get a 10-year contract. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there because you have to think what the Cowboys are in for when he does test the market. Because do they just let him go and draft somebody? Do they want to get away from the guaranteed playoff spot with him there? And you don't know what the hell is going to happen after that playoff spot. It's a lot of questions that you have to ask as a fan of that team and as an organizational piece of that franchise. And I just feel that he's going to cost way too much money, and they're just going to axe him. I think that's going to
So,
happen.
and that's another problem when I was talking about the quarterbacks. Like in a perfect world, no one should be getting paid more than Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So there should be a system in place for that because again, you're gonna have Dak, who literally has never been to an NFC title game, and Patrick Mahomes with what, 3 Super Bowls now?
Yep.
Like that doesn't make any sense. That is like a manager making more than the CEO of a company.
Yeah.
Like it really
Yep.
is.
Hmm.
And in this case, I mean, yeah, they're both still getting paid a shit ton. It's maybe going to be a matter of like 12, I don't even know, 15 million. I don't even know the exact numbers, but if I'm Patrick Mahomes, it's like I feel just like weird. And I'm like, I don't like this system. They can just keep adjusting his contract. Now, Brady didn't care, which
Hmm.
is the interesting thing. He wanted the best team, which that's probably why they won. But look at Patrick Mahomes. It's all fucking him. Point is, going back to Dak, a good quarterback. I mean, you want to say great in the regular season, but like he hasn't really beaten that many good teams.
No.
He kills Washington and the Giants, which again, as Eagles fans, we can't say that we do that all the time. We can't say that we kill them. We win for the most part. But like, what does that even matter? Like, you're beating two of the worst teams in the league,
Yep.
and I don't get it. You know what I mean? Whenever they have a big test, they fail it every time,
Every time.
and you got to make a change. Like, if that was us, Dak would be out of here.
Oh,
Would
a
you
long time
agree?
ago. Yep. Long time ago. But
For sure. It's
yeah.
good for us though. Like, you know, do we have the best record against Dak? No, but it's just a weird. We're not scared of him, and like I think you have to be scared of a quarterback for them to win a Super Bowl.
Agree 1,000%. And with him running the offense, they'll be a great regular season team. They just won't be good enough to win it all. And at the end of the day, as an Eagles fan, I'm happy
Yeah, but it's
about
not even
that.
win it all. It's like win one game. Like
Yeah.
that, if they were in the championship game or they lost by a field goal in divisional round, but
Yep.
like they got blown out by the 7th seed for the first time ever. Yeah, we like the Packers now because they beat the Cowboys. That's why we like them,
Yeah, we'll like
so
them
much.
until they play us in Brazil and we're forced to wear our disgusting blue and yellow jerseys on national TV because they can't wear green in that
Wait, are we
stadium.
actually wait, is that a thing? We're bringing them back for that game?
I don't know what they're gonna wear because they can't wear green.
What do you mean they're gonna wear all white? But they're the home team. But wait, I'm confused. So they can't wear green.
They
They'll
can't wear
probably be
green.
all white or black and white
But if you're
or
gonna
all black.
if you're doing all black or all white, they have the green in the lettering, so you can't wear that.
Wait, I'm confused. Is that a rule?
Yeah, no, it's not a rule. It's that they don't want the fans of the soccer teams to get pissed off and kill each other because green is in their stadium.
Okay, I'm not that educated on soccer, but it's like their biggest rival. They wear green.
Yeah, soccer fans are nuts.
Okay, well, what are the Packers wearing?
The Packers would wear probably their old school blue and yellow, well, dark blue and yellow, whatever that was. It would be disgusting, but it is what it is,
Oh,
I
okay, I
guess.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that all right, Eagles can't wear green because it's the color for the Palmetto.
Cornethius.
Say the name.
Cornethius.
Cornathius.
Yeah.
Now it's saying Packers and Eagles will be allowed to wear green.
It
When did this
is.
come out? It said USA Today. I'm looking for the date on it.
It's not a good idea, I'm telling
What's the
you.
date of this article? June 14th. Um, are fans allowed to wear green?
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't see any like.
This is a big
And there's that
clusterfuck and
like
why
they
they
were
should
like,
not have gone to Brazil. It's the dumbest idea ever.
yeah, that's just like a crazy different culture that we really. I mean, unless you're soccer educated, but like
Yeah.
the average American doesn't really get it because
No, because
it's almost like a
Americans
little
are
barbarian. Like, I mean, we get shit on for the Eagles fans doing crazy shit at tailgates and stuff, but like, like that's kind of like another level,
well, this is
right?
where
Because of the color.
this is where the arrogance and ignorance is going to come back to bite them if something happens because Americans are usually both. So I mean, hopefully nothing bad happens, but if they're really wearing green, they got to watch their backs. I'm telling you.
Can you give us a little education about that? Like, what is it? Like, what's the
Yeah,
beef?
it's
What's
their biggest rival wears that shade of green, and it's not safe, especially in Brazil, which is known to be a
now? Do
tourist.
these teams like physically go at it? Like, have there been fist fights on the field? Like, is it
No, I
that?
wouldn't. Like maybe historically, but I would say it's more of the fans being barbarians. So it's like I don't think it's a good idea personally, but whatever. I'm not the one in charge.
It's that's very, very, and again, like that's never been a problem. Like you said, this is a whole new world going over there.
Yeah,
And again, yeah, the Packers more than us because we could wear all white and maybe just make everything. Yeah, we have our helmet. Like we can't wear the. I mean, you can wear the black helmet
yeah,
and then just change the Eagles logo. But like, you can only have so many uniforms. They have to get approved. So like, they fuck themselves with that and whatever rule they have.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't think we're like we'll see. It sounds like they're going to be able to wear green. Who the fuck knows? This is definitely an underrated story. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, guys. With that said, very long show today. Probably our longest thus far. It was a lot of fun. It flew by. We will be back next week around the same time. And honestly, with that said, go Birds. We already had our Hall of Fame game, which I did not watch a single series of. I was at the
No,
movies.
we do not. We do not care.
Yeah, we do not care. Next week we have the Ravens in Baltimore, and we'll see how that goes. But until then, we are out of here and go Birds, guys.
Go Birds. Enjoy your weekend, guys.